What happens when the greatest martial artists unleash their fury? We're diving into 20 martial arts moments that shattered bones, broke records, and pushed boundaries. But what makes these scenes so unforgettable? Is it the choreography, the stakes, or the sheer audacity of the fighters? Let's find out. The Raid films are celebrated as the pinnacle of Indonesian martial arts cinema, and the muddy prison yard riot in The Raid 2 is among their most intense sequences. The main character, Rama, is an undercover cop planted inside a crime lord's empire. To earn credibility, he aligns himself with Uko, the boss's son. When Uko is targeted in the prison courtyard, Rama springs into action to shield him, igniting a chaotic, mud-soaked mass brawl. The grisly brutality is unforgettable. Rama snaps limbs, uses stones as improvised weapons, and tears through both inmates and guards. Throughout the frenzied clash, Iko Uwais' lead performance stands out as both fiercely aggressive and dazzlingly skilled. Tony Jaa's breakout film Ong-Bak brims with unforgettable combat, but the Underground Fight Club segment is a standout. Jaa's character, Ting, is reluctantly pressured into multiple bouts at a local fight den. First, he faces a massive brute, but Ting's agility and Muay Thai expertise bring the giant down swiftly. Next, he confronts a dancer-like opponent known for nimble footwork, but Ting counters with even more impressive moves. The final foe fights dirty, using the crowd and improvised weapons to gain the upper hand. Still, Ting battles his way up to the club owner's private area, eventually knocking his adversary down from above. The inventive use of the setting, combined with Jaa's airborne knees and elbows, ensures this scene's lasting fame in martial arts cinema. This sequence from Flashpoint distinguishes itself with gritty realism and ruthless force. During production, Donnie Yen immersed himself in mixed martial arts influences, incorporating techniques like arm bars, triangle chokes, and ground and pound attacks. The fight opens with an explosion of energy, as Yen and Cho trade savage blows in confined quarters. After a brief lull, the intensity surges once more, building to a heart-pounding apex. The authentic feel of every strike and the raw physicality of the actors' performances cement this as one of Yen's most striking fight scenes. Widely considered one of Bruce Lee's more violent films, Fist of Fury's climactic dojo confrontation is a masterful display of martial arts and pure anger. In this scene, Bruce Lee's character goes back to the Japanese dojo determined to face Mr. Suzuki, but his students stand in his way. After giving them the chance to leave, Lee delivers a series of kicks and punches fueled with rage that lights up the screen. This confrontation not only highlights Lee's martial arts skills, it also shows his ability to demonstrate his emotions through fighting. In this underrated Indonesian action movie, nearly every battle scene is ferocious, but the standout is the infiltration of the warehouse. Here's the setup. The former Triad member locates a warehouse run by his old employers. Once inside, he unleashes savage brutality on every henchman he encounters. Ito uses every means at his disposal, from snapping legs and slashing with machetes to wielding pool cues and balls as bludgeons, leaving enemies covered in blood. The level of violence can be disturbing, yet Joe Taslim's portrayal of Ito makes watching him rip through the gang single-handedly surprisingly rewarding. This often overlooked Jet Li film features him as Danny, a man raised by a loan shark to behave like a vicious animal whenever his collar is removed. The opening brawl sets the grim tone as Danny tackles a gang of thugs with a savage efficiency that borders on primal. Jumping onto one attacker, Danny unleashes a barrage of headbutts so savage they seem feral. Though martial ability is evident, the raw, animalistic nature of the fight makes it particularly shocking, showcasing Jet Li in a powerfully unrefined display of strength and violence. The drug lab sequence in The Raid is a shining example of intricate action staging. Unlike other scenes that focus on a single duel, this one involves Rama and his allies pushing through numerous enemies in one relentless wave. As they carve a path through the lab, Rama employs any weapon at hand, improvised objects, and pure physical might to overcome the opposition. The camera's fluid movement feels almost like another participant, capturing every bone-crunching impact and desperate struggle. This scene is a stunning testament to Iko Uwais' skill and the visionary team behind the raid. This underrated movie features Scott Adkins as Casey Bowman, a man whose grief and fury have forged him into a ruthless instrument of vengeance. The final showdown sets a grim tone as Casey faces off against Nakabara in a confrontation defined by its brutal hits and utter absence of mercy. After figuring out that Nakabara killed his wife, Casey unleashes a barrage of strikes with lethal intent. The animalistic nature of the fight is nothing short of breathtaking, showcasing Scott Adkins in a display of strength and rage. How do you increase the intensity of a Jet Li showdown? You pit him against another Jet Li. In this final fight, Gabe clashes with his malevolent alternate universe counterpart Yula. This homicidal villain is bent on eliminating all his doubles across the multiverse in order to absorb their life forces and achieve superhuman strength. Yula initially holds the upper hand on a system of catwalks, but as the brawl spills into open space, the tension skyrockets. Sparks literally fly as Gabe ultimately overcomes his ruthless double, culminating in an electrifying duel that stands out in Lee's filmography. In this underground fight film starring Michael Jai White as Isaiah Bone, a combatant of unrivaled ability, it's not the final showdown with Price that truly stands out. Instead, the prison bathroom sequence takes center stage. Surrounded by inmates, Bone warns them with a countdown before unleashing utter devastation. From rapid-fire kicks to makeshift stabbing attacks, Bone destroys his attackers. Within mere moments, he flips the scenario, transforming from a potential victim into the prison's apex predator. This gritty Scott Adkins film features him as Kane, a once ordinary man transformed into a hardened animal by the unforgiving crucible of prison life. The prison fight unfolds within the cell block and sets a merciless tone as Kane is forced to defend his life. Surging forward, he pummels through the inmates with unrelenting force until they manage to pin him down and smash his face into the cold concrete floor. Jet Li once again commands attention in this fierce office-based brawl from Kiss of the Dragon. In this clash, Inspector Liu Jian takes on a duo of twin assassins, one adept at martial arts who engages him face to face, and the other lurking in the backdrop for sneak attacks. Initially, Liu struggles to gain dominance in the cramped setting. However, as he maneuvers his adversary into tighter quarters, he strikes with pinpoint accuracy. Liu outsmarts the primary twin, eventually flipping him into a neck-breaking finish, and mere seconds later disposes of the second twin with a powerful kick. The confined environment, relentless tension, and grisly finale make this an unforgettable moment in Jet Li's career. Van Damme's film Kickboxer features him as Kurt Sloan, a man fueled by vengeance facing the villainous Tong Po. The underground arena sets the tone, as Sloan is taking a beating as his brother is being held hostage. Once Kurt's brother is rescued and turns up at the arena, Sloan unleashes a barrage of kicks and punches. Van Damme's skills are undeniable, and his clash showcases him in an awesome display of strength and violence, capturing his quest for vengeance. In this classic encounter, Jackie Chan's signature mix of comedy and martial skill is on full display against kickboxing champion Benny the Jet. The duel starts seriously, showcasing both fighters' remarkable abilities in a kind of martial arts ballet. Still, neither he nor Benny pulls any punches. The confrontation concludes with Jackie delivering a stunning double kick followed by a spectacular flying knee, ensuring this remains one of his most revered on-screen matchups. The final confrontation in the Raid 2 frequently earns praise as one of the greatest martial arts battles ever filmed. In this bloody contest, Rama faces an anonymous assassin wielding a pair of knives inside a kitchen. The fight starts with pure hand-to-hand combat and soon escalates into a savage knife duel. Every blow, parry, and strike lands with surgical precision, and the pressure intensifies as both fighters test their limits. Rama emerges victorious, but the grueling struggle leaves both men battered and scarred, enhancing the fight's legendary status. In Hell, Van Damme delivers one of his rawest performances, stepping far away from his trademark elegance and technique to explore the primal instincts of survival. In the brutal prison fight scene, Van Damme's character is a man fighting for his life. The fight is gritty, visceral, and unrelenting, but the moment that stands out is when Kyle, cornered and desperate, bites his opponent with ferocity. The bite is a pure survival instinct, an eruption of raw, animalistic rage. This moment doesn't just shock, it unsettles, showcasing Van Damme in a performance that prioritizes primal emotion over polished skill. Tony Jaa's The Protector is celebrated for its breathtaking fight sequences, but none are more punishing than the notorious Bonebreaker scene. After discovering one of his cherished elephants has been killed, Jaa's character K unleashes unbridled wrath on a mob of enemies. In this onslaught, he methodically snaps bones and wrenches joints with chilling precision. From shattering limbs to forcibly dislocating appendages, Jaa's fury knows no bounds. The inventive and vicious methods he uses to incapacitate his foes make this a mesmerizing, if cringe-inducing, display of martial dominance. The words "I want to fight 10 people" set the stage for one of the martial arts genre's most unforgettable showdowns. Donnie Yen's Ip Man confronts 10 karate practitioners in a scene defined by ruthless efficiency. The tension builds as Ip Man systematically demolishes his adversaries, snapping limbs and leaving no challenger intact. Despite its short runtime, the sequence stands as a lesson in controlled ferocity, leaving a deep impression on anyone who witnesses it. As a reinterpretation of Bruce Lee's Fist of Fury, Fist of Legend had immense expectations to meet, and it succeeded. The climactic showdown between Jet Li's Chen Zhen and Billy Chow's General Fujita is a sublime example of refined martial arts choreography. Their duel combines timeless kung fu aesthetics with modern cinematic flair. Fujita's intimidating aura intensifies the scene, making him seem nearly unbeatable until Chen Zhen gradually turns the tide. The result is a confrontation overflowing with elegance, ferocity, and tension, marking it as one of martial arts cinema's most distinguished battles.
You can take this from me and then get out of here.
Bruce Lee's furious assault on a rival dojo remains one of the most legendary scenes in martial arts film history. Motivated by anti-Chinese discrimination and personal tragedy, Lee's Chen Zhen storms into an enemy school brimming with Japanese fighters. The resulting chaos is a whirlwind of fists, feet, and nunchaku attacks. Though vastly outnumbered, Chen Zhen effortlessly dismantles his opponents. This sequence not only underscores Bruce Lee's incredible fighting aptitude, but also showcases the sheer force of his cinematic presence. So what drives martial artists to go savage mode? It's more than just the choreography, it's about the stories they tell. Whether fueled by vengeance, survival, or justice, these fights are unforgettable because they balance raw intensity with emotional stakes. They remind us that in the world of martial arts cinema, every strike has a purpose, and every fight leaves a mark. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content.